Hey everybody, so I was debating on whether I would make this video or not, just because I don't know what's going on completely with the situation, and I didn't know if I should make the video after everything's resolved or during the whole process. Maybe it would be beneficial, but I think it'd be good to do the video as soon as possible just to help other people out. And the title is pretty self-explanatory. If you're new to the channel, I owned a C0706, it's a 2016 1LZ, and it was recently stolen now 4 nights ago. So just to get the story started, I had parked the car outside of my house, actually on the street this night, and I parked it parallel between 2 other cars we own. The car was actually sandwiched to the point where it'd be like a 4 to 5 point turn to get the car out of the spot, and I parked it at approximately 1 a.m. in the morning. The following morning, my sister leaves to work quite early. At about 5:30 a.m. she went outside and the car wasn't there. So she came back inside, checked in with me, asked if I had moved the car. There was no shattered glass or anything in the location where the car had been. And you know, occasionally sometimes I'll have the car at the shop or something. So if it's like nowhere around, then you know, that's usually the case. So she thought maybe I had taken the car to the shop. She thought maybe I had left the house already and had gone to a car show or like Cars and Coffee like I do usually. But it wasn't the case. She saw me inside, woke me up, went outside, saw the car was gone. Like I said, no shattered glass. No alarm had gone off overnight. None of my neighbors heard anything. And I immediately thought maybe I can call OnStar, or I can use my remote key fob or OnStar app on my phone to locate the vehicle. I tried to locate it through the OnStar app, had no luck. I contacted OnStar right away, and then simultaneously my sister was calling the police department. So she went ahead, she called the police department, I called OnStar. I let OnStar know what had happened, and let them know, you know, when the last time I saw the vehicle. They asked if the fobs were in my possession. Both the key fobs were with me. And I told them there was no shattered glass, etc. And I asked them if they would be able to locate the vehicle. They told me that they would give it a shot, and I also asked them if they usually are able to locate stolen vehicles, and I was saying, you know, if a criminal was good enough to get in the car without a key fob, not trip an alarm, not shatter the glass, etc., then they probably can disable the system. And she's like, well, we don't want to think like that, which is kind of like their way of saying, like, yeah, more than likely we're not going to be able to locate it. And lo and behold, a couple of minutes later, they let me know they can't locate the car. Anyways, my sister got off the phone with the police. They said that they were going to come down and do a report with me in person. I got off the phone with OnStar, and they told me to give them a call back with the case number that the police had, just so that they would have the ability to track the car at all times without my permission, since it's a privacy issue in that all vehicles with OnStar can't be tracked unless the police are involved, without the owner's discretion. So that all took place. Police came. I still hadn't called insurance yet, just because I was trying to figure out what was going on. Talked with the police, gave them my report. The vehicle was registered into the stolen vehicle system, and they told me they would follow up. Now, some key things to note. The vehicle had been in for a service prior, but the police were going to follow up with that, and then insurance would be later, notified of that. So that all took place. I followed up with insurance directly after the police left, and I filed my report, and I let them know the situation. Insurance basically told me I was going to have an adjuster call me, because this happened early in the morning. Most of their adjusters weren't in, so an adjuster called me later on in the day at about 10 a.m. Let me know how the whole process worked. Basically there'd be a 14-day period, which either the vehicle will get recovered in or it would be considered a total loss. So the vehicle was stolen on Sunday. I'll basically be waiting for about 2 weeks, to not this coming Sunday but the Sunday after, and figure out whether or not it'll be considered a total loss. I'm insured through Geico, so that's their policy. Every insurance company is different. I've heard some companies extend it out as long as 30 days. So that all took place. Obviously my curiosity was, are they going to actually appraise me a fair value on the vehicle and all that? But none of that would take place until the vehicle was considered a total loss. So that all happened, and I honestly was genuinely curious how this person pulled this off. So there was obviously the thought that possibly a fob had been made. Apparently they can check in GM systems if an additional fob was made, and it would say, you know, if you want to sync a third or fourth fob. So since there's 2 fobs that exist, if you went to go sync an additional fob, it would say syncing, you know, sync 4th key fob, then you'd know that there was a 3rd fob that existed. Or they could potentially have unsynced one of the fobs in my possession, you know, my spare fob, and put in only the 2nd one so that I wouldn't detect it if I didn't use the secondary fob. So that was one of the things that could have happened. Another thing is there's basically like a transmitter that someone could use to increase the signal of a key fob from your house, and then they would stand between your house and the car, and then there'd be a secondary robber who would be standing at the vehicle and basically use that transmitted fob signal to open the vehicle and start it up and trick the vehicle into thinking that, you know, a tablet is basically the key fob for the vehicle. I'll put a link to a video that kind of explains that whole process below in my description, just so you guys can check that out. And then the other way that I had found was that possibly a transmitter or a signal transmitter, kind of like something that would pick up the signal from my fob if I was using it on the vehicle, could have been attached to the car at some point, and then that copied the signal of the fob. A robber would then come, take that transmitter, copy the signal that was on the fob to a fob they had, and then use that to open up the vehicle. So those are some of the possibilities that could have happened, what I've researched. Once the vehicle was stolen, immediately I posted to a couple of Northern California car pages just to see if anyone spotted the vehicle, to give me a heads up. It is a pretty unique vehicle. I have a matte gray charcoal wrap on it, so I figured if anyone saw it driving on the road, they would know to contact me right away. I also posted in a group page for my town, which has approximately 26,000 people. There were some people who said they had seen the car, but they weren't able to verify the license plate number or anything. So unfortunately, I can't really go to the police with like a he said, she said, and have them just following up on a bunch of leads that, you know, people claim they think they might have seen. So that was kind of unfortunate. But I also posted to the Corvette forums, and I wanted to know how the OnStar was disabled. And I'm getting a bunch of different information, but from what I know, it seems that if you detach the battery of the vehicle after you've started it, the alternator could maintain sparking, and the vehicle's GPS system or OnStar system would no longer function. So it seems like that may have been an option, but then there's also, you know, information saying that, you know, OnStar has a backup battery that would actually work regardless of whether the battery was connected, and it's used to function if there's a car crash, say, and, you know, the main electrical system of the vehicle fails, that the OnStar system still functions and can send out a distress signal for the driver of the vehicle, say if they're unconscious, etc. So still trying to get an idea of how OnStar was disabled, how these thieves knew how to do that, and I figured honestly, if these thieves were good enough to do that they were probably not stupid enough to leave this vehicle to be found in the upcoming weeks. I guess the best case scenario that can come out of this, though, is that the vehicle is found in one piece and the robbers are caught, although I find it pretty unlikely. I want to update you guys as much as possible with everything that unfolds with this, and I will try to make update videos on it. But it just kind of took me by surprise, and I wasn't sure if it was something I should share. And it's kind of a bummer, as I just said I was going to start doing videos again for this channel. So it's going to be a minor setback, but like I said, regardless of whether the vehicle comes back or not, I still plan to get something else, and I still plan to make videos for this channel. I just got the go-kart. I'm going to be covering that in depth, and I want that to be something that everyone can do, and hopefully people who follow this channel can get into and find it as something like affordable for racing, especially if you want to get your foot in the door, you know, with automotive stuff and whatnot. So just wanted to put that out there. If you're new to the channel, or if you're watching this video just because, you know, possibly the description, you know, came up on your explore page or whatever, go ahead and hit a like or a dislike on the video. Let me know why you didn't like the video, and leave a comment below. I really would appreciate it. And if you do enjoy the video and you want to see more content, hit the subscribe button. And like I said, for anyone who is a subscriber, I apologize for the quality of the last video. I tried to use a new editor called Shotcut, and it was pretty horrendous. The keyframes just destroyed the audio on the video, so it limited my ability to add any type of like post-production value to the video. So I'm going to try something called DaVinci for this next video. This video, unfortunately though, is not going to have any production value to it. It's just kind of like an impromptu thing I decided to do so that you guys could know what was going on. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.